to click subscribe right here with this button and give me a thumbs up if you love this video. If you guys are watching the replay, you know what to do. Let me know in the comments with hashtag replay, and also let me know if you guys have any questions watching on YouTube or watching the replay. I always go back, answer all of your guys' questions. I love answering questions, so don't ever be afraid to ask me something, want me to clarify something, let me know in the comments. I love answering your guys' questions. That's why I come on live streams. So if you're watching now live, say hey, let me know what's up. I'm still in Florida. I leave tomorrow. It is so hot here today. You guys can see like the fog, like the AC's going in my car because there's like some heat wave. Going through Florida right now. It's like only 90 degrees, but it feels like 115. It is so hot outside. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a live stream. I have a call at noon, so this has to be short, sweet, and to the point, which is what I love doing on my live stream. So I've gotten a lot of people recently that are asking me about Pinterest for business. So I also see that a lot of you guys are beginners. So I want to give you guys some 3 tips that you can use today, or you can gain clarity on if you're just starting to use Pinterest for business and you're not really sure if you're doing anything correctly, okay? These 3 tips will get you on track for Pinterest for business for success. Now, if you guys have any questions about Pinterest for business and you're a beginner, let me know in the comments. You guys know I love Pinterest. I just got reached 97,000 followers on Pinterest. I've been using it for the last 8 years for my business, for affiliate marketing, anything Pinterest for business. I create 5-figure months on autopilot using Pinterest. Let me know in the comments all of your questions about Pinterest for business. I am obsessed with Pinterest. Hey Lauren, how are you? If you guys are hopping on, say hey. So I want to give you guys 3 tips. This is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. So the one thing that we all need to remember with Pinterest is that Pinterest is a search engine. I want you guys to like tattoo that on your forehead, write it down, don't forget it. Pinterest acts exactly like Google. It acts exactly like Google. It is a search engine, which means people go to Pinterest to look for inspiration. They go there to buy something, or they search for the solution to their problem. For example, I'm in social media, so I'm going to search for Instagram marketing tips, tricks, hacks, Instagram marketing, Pinterest marketing for business, how to start a Pinterest account, website design, anything that you can think of where it's like how to ... That is what Pinterest is for. All of your results on Pinterest also go on Google. I say this all the time as this example. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen any of my quotes, but this one time I was like typing in a quote for my Instagram and my quote came up, not only the picture, but the link came up #1 on Google out of almost 200 million results. And that is because I simply took the time, probably took like 2 minutes to post it onto Pinterest. And that was the result that I got. Not only that, Pinterest results last. They last forever. So it's kind of like Google. When you go to Google and you search for something and you see a blog post from like 2013, it's relevance based. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how skimpy of a bikini you're wearing. Your results last. They're value and relevance based. Okay, so those are some just quick tips on Pinterest that I want you guys to keep in mind and remember, because it's super important for the 3 tips that I'm going to give you right now. So, since Pinterest is a value and relevance based search engine, the first tip when you're starting Pinterest for business as a beginner is that you have to know your niche and you have to stick with one, okay? I get you're a creative entrepreneur. Me too. I'm an entrepreneur. I do CrossFit. I love dogs. I love wedding dresses, wedding rings, fashion, quotes, all of the things, right? If that's you, let me know in the comments. We love all the things and that's okay, right? But when it comes to, really starting out, especially if you're a beginner in your business, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever, now more than ever, people are searching specifically for a solution to their problem. So you need to become the expert in that niche, okay? Entrepreneur is not a niche. Fashion is not a niche. Business is not a niche. It is a niche, but it's like the broad niche, okay? We're looking for a clearly defined niche that you can explain in 3 to 5 words, okay? It's on social media marketing for female entrepreneurs, okay? Online business coach for female entrepreneurs. Keto meal plans for busy moms on the go, okay? That is your niche. So the first tip is that you need to know your niche, okay? Not only do you need to know your niche, it's going to be literally the only thing that you discuss on your Pinterest, at least until you get to like 20,000 followers, okay? Because the fact of the matter is that Pinterest values relevance-based information. People are going to follow you on Pinterest and they're going to go to your Pinterest because you are the expert hub of information on that certain topic, okay? So the problem is that if you're, let's just say you're in keto and you want to like, you know, sell meal plans. If you post a keto meal recipe and then you post a picture of a cute cat and then you post a wedding dress picture, people are going to be like, unless it's like your own content and it's like really, really, really spectacular, professional photos, great content where people are like, wow, and you're already a celebrity on that subject, people are going to be confused, okay? Because they want to know the answer to their problem. So how do you do that? You know your niche. When you know your niche, you stick to that niche, okay? So on Pinterest, you also want different types of boards on that specific niche. So you're probably like, Kylie, okay, if I do keto meal plans, like how do I create other boards? And it's like, think outside of the box. Who are you creating them for? Maybe you want to do like under 500 calories board. Maybe you want to do for vegans. Maybe you want to do it like paleo recipes. You can think outside of the box on your own niche and then create boards that are relevant to it, okay? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Lauren says, I love all the things. Me too. Like when I first started my Pinterest, it was for fashion because when I was studying apparel merchandising and business in college. So that was like my creative fashion outlet. And it wasn't until like, I would say recently, like when I started making my quotes and my social media marketing, like my online business, it wasn't until like 6-7 years later when I started adding different things in. But it still makes sense with my boards, okay? I will link my Pinterest below so you guys know what I'm talking about. The consistency of all my pictures still looks the same, but I'm adding in new topics, okay? But that wasn't until years down the line. I solidified myself in my niche, and then I added from there. This tip goes with like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any sort of social media marketing or social media site where you're starting out and you want to grow your business on. You have to stick to one thing, because if you talk about all of the things, which like I love all the things too. Like, and I know it's really, really hard. So you're probably like, how do you pick one? You pick the one you're most passionate about, okay? You pick the one that people actually need help with. And when people need your help, when they look at you and they're like, how do you do this? How do you make money on Pinterest? How do I use Pinterest for business? How do I grow my Instagram following? Okay, I was getting a lot of people asking me that, and I was like, whoa, okay. That's when you know, okay? When people ask you how to do something, that's the one that you pick, okay? So that's how you pick your niche. So, okay. Lauren says, I've had an account for years and I've only used it for me personally and need to focus in. Yeah, and like, this is another thing too. I get a lot of questions where it's like, you know, I've had Pinterest, do I need to start over? And it's like, no, if you're in the same niche that you've been in. It's not like you have to keep your business separate from your personal. It's just like Instagram, okay? What you need to do is you just need to nail down your niche. And once you do that, then you go from there. But it's very, very important that you stick to one niche. And remember, business, entrepreneur, social media, fashion, those aren't like, that's like the broad niche, okay? That's already taken by like Tony Robbins, like Grant Cardone for real estate, like Gary Vaynerchuk for social media. Like they own the broad niche. Now we need to go into like the ones that are more defined, which I know is 3 to 5 words. That's how you know if you've clearly defined your niche, okay? So social media marketing for female entrepreneurs would be a great one, okay? Nail down the niche. Okay, hey Donovan, how are you? All right, so the first tip was to nail down your niche if you're focusing on Pinterest or business and you're just a beginner. The second tip that I have for you is you need to focus on vertical images, okay? So I also see this a lot where people start on Pinterest and like they kind of just pin like random things from Instagram, which are square images, or they'll just pin whatever and they're kind of like, I'm not getting any traction on my pins. People aren't clicking on them. People aren't repinning them. I don't understand why. And Pinterest is situated in columns, okay? So they always say like, don't giraffe pin on Pinterest, but I'm like, if you can like be more of like a giraffe pin, which is like the most vertical pin you can pick on Pinterest, that's better because you're taking up more real estate on the feed when you use a vertical pin on Pinterest, okay? So when you start out on Pinterest, make sure that the graphics you create or use or repin on Pinterest, you want them to be vertical. Because the thing is that if you use like small images like this, like little rectangle ones, people aren't going to see it. Like, imagine how fast that you scroll. I scroll like this. I'm like, okay, what's catching my attention? I need the bright images. I need something to pop. I need something that catches my attention. And I need to be, in order for that to happen, you're going to have a better chance of somebody seeing your image if it's vertical. Okay. So make sure that when you're on Pinterest, you focus on creating vertical images. Okay. So the first tip was know your niche. And that's probably like, I think that's the one thing where, just like generally speaking with social media, where people get, sorry, my car is like, it's going to shut off. So I hope it doesn't, because I'm going to like get a heat stroke in here. Knowing your niche on Pinterest is super important, because even on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff, because people start talking about all the things and then people are kind of like, I don't know what you do in your business. Has that ever happened to anybody? That means that you're not being super specific on the solution that you solve to other people's problems. So make sure you know your niche, okay? And that's in 3 to 5 words. My car just shut off. Hold on, it's starting again. Okay. The second tip is that you need to focus on creating vertical images. And why you need to do that is because Pinterest is situated in vertical columns, okay? So the more vertical your image is, the more real estate you're going to take up on the feed. So don't post pictures onto Pinterest where they're like, you know, square images from Instagram. You can crop them and make them vertical. And that's only going to help you out like for other people seeing your images, okay? And the third tip that I have and this is a little bit more complex, so I can do another live stream on this. But the third tip that I have is what I started out by saying in the beginning of this video, is that Pinterest is a search engine, okay? What does that mean? That means people are typing in to the search bar, how to ... how do I, lose weight? How do I, what do I wear on a first date? How do I do my makeup? Blah, blah, blah. How do I start an online business? Okay. They're typing that into the search bar. Now, if you go to Pinterest and you're only posting images and you're not writing a description about it, you're not leaving a link to your website or another website where the image came from. If you're kind of just like posting images like Instagram and you're just like leaving it and you expect people to find you, that's not going to happen. Okay. So the third thing you need to focus on Pinterest, this is another really, really, really important thing to focus on, is writing a detailed description about what your image is talking about. Because if you just leave that blank and you don't have a link either, that's like the fourth tidbit. If you kind of just like post an image on Pinterest and you like pray for people to be able to search for your content, that's not how search engines work, okay? Search engines work because you're typing in a description as to what other people are searching for. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I posted a pin where it was like 5 keto meal plans or it was, let's just say it's a freebie where I'm like, here's a freebie for 5, or a week-long worth of keto meal plans, like click here, okay? And then the link leads to your freebie onto Pinterest. Now, just making the image is not enough because people don't search for the image. They see the image, they're searching for the description. So you have to describe what your ideal client is searching for in the image. So you would just say that. You would say whatever the image is what you're describing. How people would search for it is what you're describing. You're not writing, oh my God, these are amazing meals, I love this, like blah, 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 because you're not typing that into the search bar. You're not typing into the search bar, oh my God, cute. You're not typing in, oh my God, love this. This is the best ever. Like, this was so yummy. You're typing in 5, or I don't even remember what the example was, the week-long meal plans for keto meal plans for busy moms on the go. I'm just thinking of this off the top of my head. So the third thing you need to focus on Pinterest is making sure that you're not forgetting to write those detailed descriptions, because that is how people are going to be able to search for your content, okay? So, hey Adolfo, how are you? I haven't seen you on my lives forever. I also haven't been on a live stream in a while. I was like, I need to come on one even though I'm in Florida. Okay, so Leah says, when you repin items of other people's from Etsy, let's say, how would you make those vertical, or do we just make our own pins vertical? So what you can do is you can make so if you pin off of somebody's Etsy and they don't have a vertical image, you can crop the image yourself and then have it lead to that link if you want to do that. But to be honest, like, unless the photo is really appealing, like it really is eye-attention, eye-grabbing, it's not going to look good on Pinterest, no matter how much you like the product or whatever. And same with Instagram. Like, it doesn't matter whatever you say in the description or if it's like the most amazing thing ever. If the photo isn't good enough, people aren't going to like it, they're not going to scroll, and they're definitely not going to repin it onto their page. So you have two options for this. You can save it to like a board where it's like, you know, a secret board if you just want it for your own personal use, or I guess there's three. Secret, so you can save it for your own personal use. You can make your own image, so you can literally go and screen grab the image and make it vertical yourself and then link it to that page and create your own pin, or you just don't pin it at all, which I know that's like kind of besides the point, but at the end of the day, people are going to start following your Pinterest if you become like, if you're like, you have to remember, like, Pinterest is just like Instagram, where it's visually appealing. People will follow you because they like the content that you're providing, okay? And they don't care. It's kind of like the horizontal image thing that I said earlier. So if you were to see an image on Etsy and the image was kind of like this, like horizontal, it's not even going to stand out on the Pinterest feed anyway. And it doesn't matter how great the product is, people aren't going to repin it because, quite frankly, they can't see it. So if it's like, they say that like a good Pinterest image is 2:3, the ratio. So I'm not saying it has to be like giraffe. That was more so if you're creating your own pins. But if it, just make sure that it's more horizontal than I don't even know if I'm doing the right things. Make sure that if it's a square image, make it more horizontal. I don't even know if I'm saying like the right things now. Like, I'm going brain dead already. Make sure it's more horizontal or vertical. I just need to stop talking. You get what I'm saying. Redo the image if it's more square or rectangular. And if you don't want to do that, then just simply don't repin it, or just pin it onto your secret board if it's for your own personal use. Let me know if that makes sense. I know I just kind of like fumbled up my horizontal, rectangular, vertical, whatever. Lauren says, oh, good point. Okay, good. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you guys have any questions about what I said on Pinterest, that was a great question to want to see who, Leah, that was such a great question. Thank you for asking. Okay, she said vertical. Thank you for asking, Leah. And thank you, Lauren, for correcting me. So I'm going to repeat all the tips. So if you guys have any questions about Pinterest for business, for beginners, or like you've been wondering about something you're not really sure, let me know in the comments. Like I said, I use Pinterest every single day. I've been using it every single day for the last 8 years. 97,000 followers on Pinterest. I know about Pinterest. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about Pinterest. So I think if you are beginning on Pinterest and you need to remember anything, just remember that Pinterest is a search engine, okay? Always remember that. Because when you go back to the basics and you're like, okay, Pinterest is a search engine, that means people search for what they want, whether they want to buy something, they're searching for inspiration, or they're searching for how to do something, which means you need detailed descriptions. You need the vertical images because the columns are situated vertically, okay? So the images have to be like vertical. Does that make sense? And then on top of all of this, you have to know your niche, because your Pinterest is going to be the expert hub of information on that one subject. Okay. You can have branches going from the niche. So let's just say you're like, you do keto meal plans. Okay. For moms. You can do ones that are like under 500 calories, or ones that are more like, or dairy free, or I'm not really familiar with keto, but this is just off the top of my head. But you have to think outside of the box when it comes to different boards and subcategories with your niche. But just remember that if you use a broad niche like entrepreneur, you're going to have more of a difficult time getting seen on Pinterest or on any search engine, because people that have millions of followers already take up that niche. So know your niche, make sure it's clearly defined. 3 to 5 words. That's what I say. It could be 6 or 7, but like a good detailed niche is between 3 to 5 words. It's not business. It's not entrepreneur. It's not fashion. Okay? So always remember that the first step is knowing your niche. The second step is knowing that you need to create vertical images, because the pins are situated in columns. I think it's 2 columns, okay? So if you have little images that are like this, it doesn't matter how amazing or where it leads to or whatever, kind of like the Etsy example. You can recreate another image and then have it linked to that or linked to the page. But make sure that you're creating vertical images for your business, because that's how people are going to be able to actually see the picture. All right? Because if you're pulling ones from Instagram where they're square or ones that are like really skinny, no one's going to be able to see it. No one's going to be able to read it, and no one's going to be able to repin, or no one's going to repin it. Okay. Make sure they're like, if anything, like giraffe the pin. Okay. Make it really, really vertical. And then the third tip was people, like back to the search engine. People search for the solution to their problems. They don't search for the image. They can only search for the image if there's a description on the image. So make sure that your description describes what the image is about, not your reaction to the image. Okay? For example, if you post like recipes, do not make the description, "Oh my God, these are amazing, like so yummy, yum." Like, this sounds stupid me saying, but like if you guys go to Pinterest, the majority of people do this, which is why Pinterest is so untapped in its abilities, because the majority of people on Pinterest don't even know its power or how to use it. So you'll see on Pinterest that a lot of people leave the description blank, or they just describe it with the way that they react to the picture. So they won't describe the image at all, which means it's unsearchable. And they'll describe it with their reaction. So they'll be like, "Oh my God, yay, yummy, so cute." And it's like, that's not what is in the image. What's in the image is how to create a week's worth of keto meals for your family for free. Click on this link and here you go. Okay? Because that's what people are searching for. They're searching for how to do something. They're searching for to buy something, or they're searching for inspiration. So make sure, because Pinterest is a search engine, that you're accurately describing in detail what the image is about. Don't leave that blank, okay? Okay, so I just recapped. So if you're just hopping on now, go click the replay, because I don't want to keep like repeating myself, but I had like a brain fart in the middle, so just hold out with me on that about vertical, horizontal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Samantha Smith said, perfect for Megan to watch about Pinterest. Yay, awesome. Yes, this is a great video. If you're just starting out on Pinterest, you're kind of like intimidated by it. You don't really know like what to focus on if you're just starting out on Pinterest. This is an amazing video for it. So if you're just hopping on now, watch the replay. And if you guys have any questions ever, if you're on live, you have questions like 2 hours later, if you're watching on YouTube, watching the replay, always let me know in the comments, because I love answering your questions. That's why I go on live. And yeah. Also, if you guys have other questions related to anything social media marketing, let me know in the comments, because your question could quite literally and anonymously be the topic of my next live stream. So I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Bye, guys.